joined here this evening by Dan McKenna, one of the midfielders for the Athlone Town men's senior team. Thanks very much, Dan, for taking the time out to talk to us.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get into talking about the current team and the current league and so forth, we'll talk a little bit about your past. I mean, you started your early football with Belvedere Football Club. What age group did you start there at?
I think it was about under fives. We had a school teacher who was a coach at Belvedere, so he got a couple of us down, and it was great just to be able to head down. My brother was down there as well. He was 2 years older than me, and I was there from under fives right up until I left to go to Wolves.
So you went to Wolves at what age?
I think it was 15. I went over 15 or 14. I went over to Wolves. Yeah.
There's that old argument, isn't there? Of course, whether you should go when you're young or whether you should wait a few years and get more experience and go. In Europe, how did you find it?
Obviously, different lads have different experiences. I was travelling away since I was 12 or 13 to all these teams in England, and I had my mind made up on what I wanted to do anyway, and it'd be hard for someone to convince me that I wasn't going to go at 15. You know, once I found out Wolves had been in touch and wanted to sign me, that was it for me. But some lads do go over when they're a lot older. Well, I say a lot older, 17, 18, and if you probably look at the stats, them lads probably pan out to have better careers. You know, I mean, we're staying in England, but it just works differently for different lads. You know, hindsight is a great thing. I always say I probably would encourage lads to stay here and get a bit of experience in the league if they can. You know, if you're 17, 18, get 2 or 3 years in the league, and then you can look to go over and you can skip out almost that academy part in England and you can go straight into a first team. So that'd probably be the best thing to do for lads.
You probably had the best of both worlds. When you went over early, you were there for 2 seasons, and then you came back on loan to Bray. How did that come about?
I was playing over there under 18s and made the jump to 21s, and then it was a year where I wasn't playing so much with the 21s, but I was still eligible to play for the under 18s, and my performances were really good, and my 18s coach was telling me, look, like you playing in these games, it's not going to benefit you anymore, you're not learning anything, you know, you need to play senior football or you need to play 21s football, and I couldn't get into the 21 squad, so for me it was about coming back and getting senior football. I could have stayed in probably England and went to non-league or something like that, but the league for me was a great platform to go and get senior experience, so and Bray was a great place to do it. Yeah.
You were, I think, 6 months or half a season there in Bray and then back to Wolves again.
Yeah, I was 6 months there, and when I got back it was like they had forgotten about me over there, so it was just I spent the next 2 or 3 months deciding on what I wanted to do, and I had a year left on the contract. I could have stayed there, but for me it was just about playing football, so I decided then to cut the contract short and come on and play with Shells.
And Shells obviously snapped you up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Who was the manager there at the time?
Ian Morris. Yeah. So I was chatting away with Ian probably from the November, December time, just to get everything sorted for January, and you know, get in and get pre-season done. The season started obviously in February.
And so before we'll talk a little bit more about Shells in a few minutes, because obviously we're playing them tomorrow, so we're looking for some insights there off you. But then you left Shells and you've joined Athlone. Was there a reason why you left Shells to join Athlone? Or?
Again, it wasn't. I had a great first year there. We had won the league, played some games, and then in the Premier Division last year just wasn't playing. So for me, it's always been, it's just about playing football, you know, no matter where it is, what level. I just want to be on this pitch and playing all the time. So it was great that I was chatting away with Graham. I was lucky enough that he had come from Shell, so he knew me, and then to be in touch with Cabsy and Decky as well, to meet with the lads was great, and just to see the squad that they were putting together and what they wanted to do, what they wanted to achieve. So it was easy for me to come down here.
Great. So we're playing Shells this weekend. Obviously the season has got off to a great start. We won the first 4 and lost 5th one. A game that we should have won by any amount of goals.
Yeah, I was saying, I was only chatting to one of the lads. I'd say the Wexford performance was probably one of our worst, and we won 3-0, and then you look at the Cabinteely game and probably one of our better performances on the ball at least, and we lost the game 2-1. You know, the chances we created would win 3 games, but it just wasn't to happen on the night.
You that has a little bit of insight into Shelburne.
Yeah.
What do you think our chances are for tomorrow night?
I'm pretty confident we'll go there and get a result. I know they're a great side, obviously not taking anything away from them, but I'm just confident in where we are at the moment as a squad and stuff like that. So they've started really strongly themselves. I think they're still unbeaten. So even though we're top of the league, we have one loss there, they're unbeaten. They'll look to stay unbeaten. They're at home. They'll look to beat us. They want nothing less than 3 points, and I think it's the same for us. So hopefully it's a good game, and it's not two teams just sitting off. Hopefully it's a nice attacking game with some goals in it.
Thanks very much for joining us. I have just one last question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the fussiest about their hairdo in the dressing room?
It's not me anyway. I'd say Wixie.
Wixie. Dan, thanks very much and best of luck tomorrow night.
All right, thank you.